logistical question. Using distributed processing, how can we
Go ahead.
where are we going to have the processing occur? Because as soon as we introduce data control on the server end, we need to send a signal to the robot via the base station to tell it when to send data.
Correct, yeah.
So now that means I have to put controls into the robot as far as not do anything, because if it does something and the central location isn't updated, then it could theoretically move and do something without transmitting that data. So where should we distribute that control? Should it be on the base station, which is controlling multiple robots?
That's what we discussed the last time, right? Because we need to reduce
the overhead,
the data
on the
transmission,
CPU,
right?
Okay, so now I'm doing okay, flip back and forth, robot A, robot B. But now what I'm doing is I'm actually relinquishing control, autonomy of the robot to the base station, because now the base station has to choose the robot. But if the base station is choosing telling the robot when to send data, technically the robot can't move, so it just lost its autonomy.
Oh, is that right? No,
yeah, because
you can
if I move,
let each robot move.
Yeah, but if I move and I don't update
only
my
make
position,
decision based upon the data received. How about that? You don't have to worry about all. Any moments of the robot's movements. Only you can make decision based upon the data received from robots. And then each robot autonomously moving around. And each robot, because autonomy, sending the poll data to the base station. Now there is after that, everything is up to the capability of a base station. So I want you to make the system in modular approach. Make it so that it can be functioning on its own way, and base station also, and your center PC, same thing. Only after that, only thing we do, how we need to see how they are interoperate each other.
okay. Well, that's my problem.
So don't make them too much dependable.
Too dependent on each other, or
Don't make them too much dependable. Make them as much independable. Yeah.
Independent.
Right.
Okay. Okay, but then we run into the problem that the data control, because data is actually coming after the motion. So if the robot's moving, it's sending data that I've moved.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't capture that data, then my map is not accurate now.
Fine. Doesn't have to be drawing, as I said, every movements.
Mm-hmm.
Still, there may be some data gaps because there's some missing data points.
Okay.
That is another big research project. That may occur all the time, not only here, right?
Right.
So if there is some missing data, then how can we do after that? There's another big research area, but right now, don't worry about that. We only display the data that's available.
Okay.
Same thing here in the base station.
So
we do some work based upon the data received. So each one should be functioning autonomously. Does it make sense to you?
No, it does.
It doesn't make sense to you? Why?
Okay,
It
autonomous.
should be like that.
So no matter what this guy's doing is
Right. This guy keeps sending data, and that guy, if the station is malfunctioning, then there's a big problem.
Okay.
But that should be somehow by using some other algorithm, server side can recognize it. Or I have something wrong in the base station.
Maybe I need
Base
to flip
station
over
also collecting data from, let's say, N robots.
Right.
But there may be some robots malfunctioning because of attacked by another robots or outdated programs or whatsoever. Maybe something wrong, but there's another capabilities that we need to worry about and deploy in the base station. So everything should be modularized.
So, are you saying that the robot should always be transmitting his position?
Yeah.
And what's going
Yeah.
on? And then the base station is listening
Yeah.
to all these guys,
Hmm.
and it's only forwarding the information that he wants at any particular time.
Right. So I remember your first question is initiated by the computer server side
Right.
sending data.
Okay.
Don't say that, but when you initiate your system, if data comes in, start doing something from the points that you recognized the data coming in. So your PC may be off at some point, still others should work. And base station, some points it's not working, still your PC and robots should work. But if a robot doesn't send the data directly to the PC, that's fine.
Uh-huh.
But if you have some other capabilities receiving the data directly from the robots, that's fine too. So whatever the mechanism available can be functioning that way, and our concern is there is a reality, by the way. Therefore, if there is something something interesting for us to proceed more,
Uh-huh.
we could do for additional research.
So, but this is almost like the whole scope of this was to have real-time data, basically.
Correct. Yeah.
If I don't communicate with this guy, then that real-time data is being lost.
Being lost. Right.
You don't care.
That's right. That's fine. Yeah.
That's fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the real-time data comes back.
Comes back, then
That
yeah,
comes back.
Correct. At that point, from that time,
But
we have
now
a very
I'm-
solid result.
But then I might have been here and plotting these points,
Mhm.
and then I moved over here.
Hmm. So at certain point here, you marked, and then you're missing gaps,
Uh-huh.
and then next mark is long distance from
Right.
that point. That's still okay.
But
Then we apply another algorithm to figure out what's going on in
But
between.
the thing is, virtually, if I'm in the physical world, I move to here, but in the virtual world, I'm still here
In the program.
in the program because the program didn't know of my motion from
That is the program is too much dependent on
the robot.
the data coming in.
Right.
Right. If your program plot the points based upon the full set of data,
Uh-huh.
like a location data, time information, and if your program knows how to plot with the data receiving from robots
Right.
at time 1, then that is good. At time t plus 100, all of a sudden you have a different location and different time and different data. Still, your program needs to be able to plot.
Well, it needs to know that it didn't get. How about this, Professor? What if I number my data? So every piece of data I'm sending to him has a unique identifier. So then he can identify, oh, I haven't communicated with Y robot for a very long time, and all of a sudden I start communicating with Y robot again, but the last time I communicated with him, his unique identifier was 100. Now it's 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know I'm missing 900 data
Correct.
points.
Yeah. That should be taken care of by some other additional module, which we do not have here yet. So that if we develop that module later,
Right.
then we can nicely plug it in here, right?
Right. Yeah.
So modularize.
Okay. So this is going to transmit no matter what. This will handle which one it's going to communicate with, which data it's going to communicate with, and he's just going to choose who he wants to communicate with at that
That's
particular
right.
point. Okay.